There's a million sounds, yet you're the only one I hear. There's a trillion moments, but I can only recall just one.
Hannah rushed over to Dawn and kissed him. Travis was less than thrilled. She couldn't wait any longer. She wanted to marry Dawn, and this was the moment. Surrounded by all of her friends, she got down on one knee and proposed to Dawn. Travis pulled out his phone as quickly as possible, trying to avoid watching.
Dawn, will you marry me?
Travis was doing everything in his power not to watch, and started Googling about trains. Dawn accepted the proposal and naturally took the opportunity to brag about himself.
You chose wisely, Hannah. You're marrying a great guy. Me.
Travis walked off, devastated. Hannah and Dawn kissed in the middle of the Spice Festival. They had a wedding plan. To celebrate, Hannah surprised all of her friends with an overnight stay at a small castle in Taratosa. She wanted to check out the venues. It was pricey at over 3,000 simoleons a night, and she could only afford one night, but it was worth the stay. She asked Travis to be her friend of honor. He had no other choice but to agree. He was her friend after all. They visited the vineyard for a celebratory dinner. As they all sat down, Dawn made sure to sit as far away from her friends as possible. Hannah looked at Travis and the rest of her friends, beaming. But all Dawn saw was Hannah looking at Travis. He was not pleased. Penny Pizzazz joined the party, and Brent's husband Brant stood up to make a toast. Then everyone pulled out their horns and annoyed every customer in the restaurant. When the food arrived, they were very excited to eat. Travis came over to talk to Hannah briefly, but her mouth was full of food. Dawn quickly picked up his wine to avoid talking to him. As Travis walked away, Dawn cheered. The rest of them took out their horns again and popped confetti. They were officially the most annoying guests to ever dine at this restaurant. Hannah and Dawn kissed before heading back to the castle. It was such a magical night. They arrived back at the break of dawn, and with only a few hours before checkout, they decided to make the most of it and woohoo. After they checked out, they visited the first potential wedding venue on Hannah's list, the castle ruins. She loved it and took plenty of notes as she tried to decide if this would be the location for the rehearsal dinner or the wedding ceremony. When she arrived at the castle, she knew this was the spot. She was in love. She could be a princess for a day. Dawn, however, had a different idea. He wanted to get married at old Penelope plane wreck in Strangerville.
Please, the plane wreck would be awesome.
He said. Hannah was less than thrilled over the idea. She rejected it instantly, and Dawn was upset.
I'll think about it,
she said, knowing full well it wasn't going to happen.
Thanks, babe,
he said, caressing her chin. Hannah looked up at the castle one last time. This was the spot. This was the dream. A castle wedding in Taratosa was going to happen. She ran to pick up a cake, but the shop was already closed. It was probably for the best since the wedding wasn't for another week. She picked out their outfits. She would wear a gorgeous princess ball gown, and Dawn would wear a tuxedo with a yellow flower, one of her favorite colors. They would get married at the castle. She's the bride after all. She has the final say, right? When they arrived home, she asked Dawn to move in with her. That night, Hannah peacefully went to sleep, and thus we begin a night and day in the world of Don Lothario. What will happen next in the legacy of Hannah McCoy?